Andy steps into today's game, batting .352, leading the team in average.
High and away, Garner delivers.
Did you say Bud?
No. I said high and away, Garner delivers.
Yeah, what did you say earlier? Getting to the
draw some blood.
Oh, draw some blood.
Blood.
Okay,
blood. Like Crips and Bloods.
I hear you.
That's a fancy way of scoring. I got a thesaurus over here, baseball thesaurus.
You digging deep.
That was from the 1920s. I used to use that on some of the broadcasts. A lot of things they used to tie to the war effort. It hit somebody.
Just a bit inside. That hit the catcher's mitt.
Oh, did it? Okay. It sounded like it hit skin, though.
Cow skin.
Okay. No doubt that would have hit me in the belly.
Especially how close Andy gets to the plate, too.
That's right.
I thought you were flatlining on me, Scott. Sorry. Don't know if you hear the noise in the background, but we got a little activity going on behind us.
Fire truck behind us. If you're curious what, you can drive down here and find out. Pay the admission. See ya. Center field, that's going to get down. Base hit. First hit of the inning. Drawing some blood.
Drawing blood, Scott.
Shortstop, number 7, Matthew Mamadas.
Mamadas. You know, his dad may be listener of the year.
Well, we dedicated this game to him, so that's time that you need to send a message to the dugout. They're going to need to step their game up a little bit.
I got a feeling Mamadas is going to have a good game today.
I think he is, too.
I didn't tell him we were dedicating this game to his dad, being the solid listener that he is.
Right. Ball 1. I told Mamadas, you want to tell him before the game? I said, short to the ball and long through it. Let's just see if he takes my little bit of coaching.
Good hack there by Mamadas.
Makes the count 1-1. Andy Moore at first base. After hitting a line drive single.
Mamadas
center field.
Flirting with 300. He's batting .298 on the year.
How many at-bats has he got?
121.
Ball high. Garner having a little control issue.
Mamadas has 7 doubles on the year. Love to see him get his 8th one right here.
That's right. Called strike. I don't know if it was because he swung or I don't know. Umpire, man, a few words. He won't give us an explanation.
I think that was a called strike.
I think it was. Okay. All right. Not sure. Our angle here, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Normally they'll point to the bat if he think. Look at there.
Center field, line drive. Marlowe underneath it for out number 1.
Don't worry, Pops. There's going to be plenty more at-bats today's game. He's on top of that right there.
Andy Moore remains at first. Bo Halcomb, our left fielder, number 25, steps in there. You must have said something to offend some people. We're down to 27 viewers now. We were pushing 40, 45, and I don't know if it was my ankle monitor comment. Oh, we've got a little glitch going. Okay, because it certainly couldn't have been you and I, Ryan.
No way. I was going to say, man,
Bo Halcomb gets under one, smacks it out to left field.
And that was smoked out to left field.
Yeah. I want to apologize to our viewers. I mean, just because we have top-notch announcers doesn't mean it transcends sometimes to our internet access and some other things that we have going on out here. But But Keith Micklig, we call him Micklig the miracle worker.
That he is.
He is on top of everything. Micklig says if it switches off and on, that means that either one of us have been electrocuted, Ryan or myself. So don't get alarmed. That we have a fire truck here for that very purpose.
Absolutely. And Mike Leader's here just in case if you fall out.
Mm-hmm. Once again, I'm just so proud Leader wasn't wrapped up into that bribery with the athletic directors and coaches and all that went on.
Walks a straight line,
Yes,
Scott.
sir. Yes, sir. Because you know the temptation has been there before, I'm sure. I read that indictment and scaled it. You know, I didn't expect to see his name there, but I was relieved when I didn't.
You were looking just for that
I
reason.
was. I you know. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, why sit here and tell you a lie, Ron? Pop up, center field, for out number 2. Runners remain at first and second. If the Canes are able to draw some blood this inning, it may be on Mr. Tyler Skelton, who steps in there to bat. Correction. I'm sorry, that was Tyler Skelton. Bradley Huff. I'm sorry.
Hey, it'll get to 7th inning. This sun, it'll cook it out of you, Scott.
I know. That's it. Yeah. You smell bacon cooking over here? It's not bacon. It's just the sun beating down on the back of my neck.
Huff does step in this game for the season, batting .236 on the year.
Swing and a miss. Strike one. Count is 0-1.
Huff can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He does have 1 home run on the year. 8 RBI. 2 doubles.
Foul. Hits the top of the swimming pool over there, didn't it? The cover on the pool.
It sounded like it.
Ryan, please ask that fire truck not to leave. I had a bunch of barbecue this past weekend.
I think that wasn't barbecue you were on.
I might need a defibrillator for the night's out, so just ask them to kind of, if they ain't got anything else to do, just ask that fire truck to hang around. Maybe need my heart restarted. Called. Strike 3. That's the end of the bottom of the second. We'll go to the top of the third. Canes down 3-0.
Don't be alarmed if you go off.
Dan Oberst steps back in there, designated hitter from Largo, Florida, swings at strike one. Listeners, we are having a few little technical difficulties. It's with our what do you say it was? With our card, wireless card.
Yeah, just make up something. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, our Braxolator
yeah.
is giving us some trouble, and so if it does kick off, just give it a few seconds and then refresh. And you know, if it does kick off, it's a good time for you to pick up the phone, call your friends, and
call somebody. That's
call
right.
somebody and say, hey, y'all need to get on here, because I don't know what these jokers are going to say for them tonight.
Well, I tell you what, especially after Scott came back from Colorado, he can't tell the difference between shortstop and center field. I just worry about him.
It reached out there, and I'm going to guess it landed fair. It's difficult to see from our viewpoint.
Shot straight down the right field foul line. J. Moore picked it up at the foul pole down there in right field.
Stand-up double for Mr. Oberst from Largo, Florida. Jermond Williams, left fielder, steps in there. With nobody out, runner at second.
Williams.
Morgan Bell gets a sign from Harrell. Looks the runner back. Hit by the pitch. Looks like must have hit him in his big toe.
Almost like the umpire had to think about that a little bit. I think he was a little bit fooled. He didn't come out saying it was a dead ball, but thought more of it.
Yeah, runner from second took off going to third, but because of dead ball, he had to go back to the second base. So
shortstop Brody Wortham.
I don't want to jinx us, but this is a good time for a triple play, Rod.
It would be great.
Brody Wortham, shortstop, squares to bunt, pulls it away for ball one.
So that gets Matthew Snyder up in the Hurricane bullpen.
Brody from Wedowee, Alabama.
Say that 3 times fast.
I know my way around Alabama.
Scott, we got to work hard here. I know they're trying to move the runners, but they're going to give us an out. If we can just mix in a strike here and get this first out of the inning.
Wortham, the number 7 batter. Count 3-0. Count 4-0. Makes it a walk. Walk and the bases loaded. Nobody out. Top of the third inning. Not exactly a place you want to be.
Kind of how Bell came in with the bases loaded. So now he's working again with the bases loaded, except no outs. When he came in, there were 2 outs. Last
we got the 8 and 9 batter up. Inside, Tucker Breen, third baseman. Breen, hometown of Marietta, Georgia. I think that's the same town where Bullet Bob Armstrong was from.
Is that a wrestler?
It is. Call strike 1. Makes count 1-1.
Have you ever thought of getting in sumo wrestling, Scott?
I have. I've thought about it. I just don't think that the wardrobe would look very flattering on me. I tried something similar at the beach this year and got a citation for the local law enforcement. Ball 2, 2-1. Foul ball right back into the screen. Counts 2-2. This is where I would call Ryan if I was a coach and catcher. I'd call a pitch that I would want him to swing at and miss.
I bet Harold is putting that sign down there right now.
You know, one that I would call a pitch that look, this guy's going to swing at it, but he won't be able to touch it. Let's see if he makes that call. Ooh, almost.
He just missed the sign.
Yeah, well, or the spot.
Yeah, maybe the spot. It is 2-2. We'd like to see him roll a double play here. Throw a pair right here.
What, a 1-2-3 double play, you think?
That would be fantastic.
Yep. Back this way.
You know, fans, we do have a ball game tomorrow. First pitch at 6 o'clock.
Hopefully we'll keep our job.
I think we will stick to 6 o'clock. We did start a little early tonight.
I'd like to thank our 44 viewers. Hope you enjoyed your supper tonight. Have any leftovers?
Send them to Americus.
We'll take them. Especially if it's chicken gizzards.
You love you a chicken gizzard?
I love chicken gizzards, man. I do. You know, you probably can't tell by looking at me. I like pretty much food in general. But I'm more of a gizzard man than I am a liver man. Ooh. He didn't bite on that one. Full count. Bases loaded. Nobody out, Ryan. This is where I would probably give that sign of that same pitch I was telling you a few minutes ago.
Need to bear down right here.
5-1-3 double play would be nice.
Infield fly would be nice, too.
That's true. That's true. Infield fly, I'll take one of those. A lot of things I don't want to see here.
Like
I won't mention
you being a sumo wrestler, being one of them?
That's it. That's it. And, you know, if I started that sumo wrestling, you know, I'd be a celebrity and, you know, that would, you know.
Wouldn't be fair to all the other participants.
Well, not only that, but, you know, I mean, I kind of keep my body in this shape, kind of keep the single ladies back.
You keep
my
a low
marriage
profile.
It's something I do to keep my marriage strong, you know. I keep my marriage strong, keep the single. Because if I went and worked out at the gym
that's
and all
not
that.
fair. To the single guys, it's just not fair.
Well, I mean, it's not fair to my wife either, really and truly, you know. That's just here we go again. 3-2, nobody out. Whoa, that was the pitch I was telling right there.
That's it, Scott.
Yes, sir. I don't want to say I called it, but I called it.
But you did call it.
If we had done that several pitches ago, it'd still be a little lower in his pitch count, but that's okay. We're right where we want to be now. I think we got number 11, Dylan Johnston, right fielder.
So it looks like Coach McDonald's going to come out here for the righty-righty matchup as he's going to call to the bullpen, and that'll bring in Matthew Snyder. So we'll take a short break. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Number 27, Matthew Snyder, steps in there. Snyder, freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, Skipstone High School, Skipstone Academy, I think it's also called.
And Snyder steps in. He has thrown 23 2/3 innings thus far on the season, 7.61 ERA. And Scott, I figured out what the problem is. I had my hat the wrong way.
Well, this one's on you then.
Yeah. So
those 3 runs.
I'll take credit. I'll take responsibility for that.
All right. Well, because I couldn't figure, because I knew I had not done anything differently.
I knew something. You knew something was off, didn't you?
Something just wasn't. Yeah, they wasn't finding the strike zone. Batter's not connecting. It's just, look at that. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to, but that one was a hot shot, hit just outside the third baseman's reach. Single scores 2 runs, makes the score 5-0. Top of the 3rd inning. Leadoff batter, number 6, Nick Poskey, the catcher.
I'm taking my hat off, Scott.
I think so. I took mine off. It's been off the whole game. I got a new shirt on, too. I do have a new shirt. So I
like your logo.
I'd like to get a W on it. Wearing one of them form-fitting T-shirts, if you didn't notice.
Right there. Perfect. Perfect.
Ball 1. Meekling doesn't give us compliments like that, does he?
No need.
That's true.
No need to.
That's true.
The sheer number of viewers shows that you guys are killing it.
I got a little grief on my Facebook page from some of our technical difficulties, so I will post an apology between innings.
Wow, they can't get on you for that. That's odd.
Well, I mean, he said one of my buddies from high school, Jeff Martin. He
as much as you get paid, Scott, somebody's got to tote the load. I mean, that's all you, buddy.
I know that's true.
So if you listen, it is Scott's fault. If you're having technical difficulties, blame Scott.
Yes, hit him on Facebook. Load up his inbox. Load up his comment section.
That's right. It's brutal. Brutal.
That one's not on you, man.
That's all right.
But thanks for taking the bullet.
Pass ball. Scores the 6th run of the game.
Uncharacteristic of Harrell. Yes. 2 back-to-back right up under his glove there. He normally does a fantastic job of smothering that ball.
I probably shouldn't have given that gift basket from Colorado. Shouldn't have left that in the dugout probably, you think, earlier today.
I think it's sitting right there. You may need to take it down there.
Yeah, that one's gone.
That reminds me of your Delta days.
It does, yeah. That was. Well, Ryan, I hate to be this way, but we've been here before.
We have definitely been here a lot sooner too.
Yes, we've been 8-0 before.
This is eerie.
And if those boys from Carrollton thinks this rattles us, it doesn't.
It doesn't at all.
No, not at all. We are not rattled. We are not rattled. If not, they can go ask Flagler. Is that who was it that we? Who was that? North Georgia. North Georgia.
It was North Georgia.
It was North Georgia. It was North Georgia. We took them to the woodshed
on the early Sunday morning.
Yes, sir. Which hot shot ball hit, short hopped our third baseman. Tough play. It was a tough play.
Well, Skelton, that ball kind of hopped up on him. He did a good job of keeping the ball in front.
Blocked it with his face.
Sure did. Runner just a little bit too much speed for Skelton to get up. He did come up firing, made a good throw in there. Just
we got some tough scores, man. We're just here for entertainment. Y'all are just, we're not going to second guess y'all. We are, but we're just. Yeah.
I'm just trying to stir up the pot.
Got a little disagreement on that last play.
I love Skelton, but yeah. I think I know Skelton can normally make that play.
Well, it hit him
That's
in the
hot
face.
Corner down there.
It hit him in the face, though,
it
man.
Did.
I mean, if I hit him in the face, I'd have screamed like I was shot out there, probably. He wouldn't have been close. I saw where the ladies basketball team from North Georgia is playing in either I think the Sweet 16. A friend of mine from high school is their coach, Buffy Burson.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Her dad was our high school football coach, Jim Burson, SEC athlete from Auburn University. I think he played some time at the St. Louis Cardinals and for the Falcons, and ended up coaching me in high school. And Buffy, his daughter, is doing a phenomenal job up in Dahlonega with the ladies basketball team, and wishing them luck.
Absolutely. You know, although we're out of it, we still pulling for the Peach Belt
Conference.
Conference.
Right. He's going to third. He made it. Runners in the corner.
And that ball was screaming after it went past Skelton that time as well.
First baseman Logan Taylor.
That was a hit.
Yes. There was
for you people scoring at home, that was a hit.
Yeah, that's H. Pickoff play.
You know, Scott, the Hurricanes still trying to find that midweek guy to give us some innings. I know these guys are working hard as they can. But, you know, just think about it. We got 5 games this week.
Yeah.
One today, one with Auburn Montgomery tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we go on the road to play Young Harris Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
So we're going to have to get some innings
Had
out
one
of somebody.
Sunday too, right?
No, we'll just play Friday. And
we had one this past Sunday.
Yes, we did.
And so
and Dr. Weaver is going back to his office to work.
We are comfortable at 8-0. This does not scare us at all, man. We are not, you know.
Dr. Weaver has all the confidence in the world. He knows we're coming back.
Yep. Runners at second and third. 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Number 16, the cleanup batter, Logan Taylor, first baseman, in there to bat.
So Keith Micklig has guessed when the 7th inning, what time the 7th inning will take place. Right now we're looking at about midnight.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I'm not sure who's got that on the list. But
does Little Caesars deliver?
Domino's does. I don't, but Roman Oven does. They're one of our sponsors.
That's true. And Zaxby's, they don't deliver.
And these young guys up here, Billy Mix, Dr. Mix, if you're listening, send some money to your kid. He's wanting us to get some pizza up here. Feed this boy, will you?
Ball 4, low, bases loaded, 1 out. Number 19, Dan Oberst, designated hitter. I believe Dan, was he the one that was hitting the shoulder the first inning?
I'm sorry, Scott, I was asleep. What'd you say?
Was Dan the one that got hit the first inning in the shoulder? Remember that one, that curveball?
I think he was.
I'm surprised he's recovered.
Still in the lineup.
I mean, that pitcher was what?
At least 50. Curveball, 65 or so. Yeah. That's what a curveball is supposed to be. Just didn't break quite as much as it's supposed to. Most curveballs I've seen in this league, you're going to be throwing around 65, 60, 62, so I don't know. Nevertheless, he's a tough kid. He's back in the lineup.
Shook it off. You don't see any Evo shield draped down from his helmet down to his forearm.
Where's he from?
He's from Largo, Florida. Mean streets of Largo, Florida.
Mean streets. Cole, you been to Largo before? Huh?
Once, and he does not want to talk about it, Ryan.
Obviously not.
Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out to the Largo, Florida native. Umpire ready to go to the house. Call strike 2.
Harold is going to have to take an ice bath tonight.
He is. I'm just.
We need to start keeping a count on the squats.
Does the peach belt have something? Oh, man, look at that. Line drive right back from whence it came. Score now, 11-0. 2 balls. Nope, correction. 2 runners at first and second.
Left fielder Jermon Williams.
Jermon Williams from Phoenix City, Alabama. Not sure if he went to Central High School or not, but that would.
Big kid.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to look where his left foot is.
Oh, yeah, his instep is on the inside line of the batter's box. The ball of his foot rests there.
I always hated pitching the guys who crowded the plate like that. I just
gives you very little room to work with.
I mean, so it can intimidate you at times.
But you know, to Mr. Williams' credit, he's not up there with a whole lot of body armor either. You know, if I'm gonna put my toe on the plate and bat, I'm gonna have body armor from my earlobes to my ankles.
That's a lot of body armor.
I know, and that's it. Yes, sir. Maybe I can get my son to watch some of these batters and see how they're standing in there. And
good pitch.
or watching the pitcher.
Looked like he took a little bit off right there.
Yep.
Change up, down, and away, it looked like, Scott.
Got him to bite. Swing and a miss. Sends him back the long walk to the dugout. Out number 2. Number 34, Brody Worthen. Shortstop stands in there.
Shortstop Brody Wortham.
Foul ball. I don't know that I agree with that being called a ball, but, you know, once again, my opinion doesn't count.
It does with me.
I know, well, but, you know.
I mean, and I'm sure it does with our listeners. I listen to everything you say, Scott.
But my opinion doesn't count when it comes to scoring errors and hits either, apparently, as we found out tonight.
I guess not. Curveball over there for strike 1 there, Scotty.
Full count, 2 outs. Clarke gets under that for out number 3, but not before they score 7 runs, make the score 10-0. Kane's coming up to bat.
There you go.
We are going to hopefully be able to chip away at this lead this inning.
Leaving up the home half of the third inning, catcher number 24.
Jacob Harrell steps in there, ready to face the pitcher from Tate, Georgia, Tyler Gardner. Gardner delivers high. Ball one.
Well, Scott, the good thing is there is a lot of baseball left for these Canes, but
yes,
we got a lot of outs to work with.
I said, I ain't that worried. Look at that.
Get down, ball.
Right there where I would want it to hit, right there.
Yep. Jake.
That's it. Drops right in between the shortstop and the center fielder for a base hit. We are back at the top of our lineup. Jason Beta, number 13, our second baseman, gets ready to step in there.
Back to the top of the order, the second baseman, Jason Beta.
Beta ready to face Tyler Gardner, the 6'4" Philistine from Tate, Georgia.
And Scott, educate me a little bit. Why did the West Georgia change their mascot? Do you know the story behind it?
Well, you go from Braves to Wolves. It was back, I think, whenever there was a lot of Native American themes being changed back then. I think some schools did, while others like Florida State and some others drew a line in the sand and said no, we're not going to do it, or they but that was not a fight that West Georgia was willing to undertake, and West Georgia could have made some of the same claims that Florida State made because of the Native American influence in the northwest part of Georgia. And they have McIntosh's Rock right there in front of the West Georgia campus, and so there was definitely a theme that the campus has had for a long time. And if you go to the football stadium, which I did donate a little money when they decided to build. I think I bought my.
You give your money here now.
I do now. I send my dollars here now, but I sent about 2 or 3 bricks. So look at that. Ooh, man, I thought that was going to. All right, here we go. We got at least a stand-up double. What are we going to do? We're going to score a run. This may be a triple, and it is. Jason Beta, triple, deep left center, makes the score 10-1. But if you go to the football stadium, there's a big statue, and all over town they've really bought into the wolf theme all over Carrollton. And but they're also at the stadium. You notice there's some Native American signs, so they did tie that in there, and I guess threw a bone to some us. They were known as the Braves when I was there.
What year did they make that change? It
was in the late '90s, but I'm telling you, they had a president. His name escapes me right now, and he reminds me a lot of Dr. Weaver, in that he came on that campus and said, okay, the way you're doing things, we're going to do things differently. And he got into a huge growth campaign, built a football stadium, did a lot of things, really woke up a lot of the complacent alumni, got them to buy into what he was doing there, and a lot of things I'm starting to see happen here right now too. So West Georgia experienced some growth. Their campus looks significantly different than when I went to school there. And it's kind of gotten to be a pretty strong regional university in that part of the state. So
pretty good, Scott.
Thank you, Cole Clarke.
Full of knowledge.
Well, hey, when I volunteer, you get what you pay for. Cole Clarke, center fielder, steps in there with a 2-1 count. Cole takes strike 2, makes the count 2-2.
And Cole getting a chance to showcase his talents here today. He's played in 11 games thus far this season. Made a couple of good plays already out there in center field.
Cole Clarke from Nahunta, Georgia, Brantley County, just the other side of Hoboken. You know where that is?
Hoboken?
Hoboken or Nahunta.
I don't.
They are right next to each other in extreme southeast Georgia, right there near Charlton County. You know the part of Georgia dips down to Florida?
Yep.
Down in that general area.
Charlton County, they were in our region when I was in high school. pretty good athletes come out of that town.
Yeah, somebody, especially the ones with the last name Bailey.
Yes, right.
Right fielder Jonathan Martin.
Speaking of a town and county that produces some pretty good athletes, Jonathan Martin steps in there to bat from Irwin County. Takes strike one. Jonathan a threat for the deep ball. Also has some pretty good speed.
Very good speed.
Pretty swing. Nicely hit ball, but I think the center fielder, but it's going to be a score to sack fly because Beta will crawl in as deep as that ball was hit.
Yes,
so
he
for
will.
the second run.
Well, we're on the board twice now,
Yes, sir.
Scott, so
Yes, sir.
you never count these canes out, buddy.
I'm telling you, this is going to be, I'm going to predict this may be another Gulf South Classic.
I hope it is.
I'm sorry, Peach Belt.
Peach Belt.
Peach Belt Classic. See, you got me talking about West Georgia days. You put me in the Gulf South, man.
Well, I know our trainer was, you were down there introducing yourself when we were in the dugout to the West Georgia trainer and told him what year you graduated, and our trainer kind of hit back at you and said she was born that year you graduated.
Well, I mean, that's, they know how to take the knife in there and twist it a little bit.
But you age so well, Scott.
Well, let me tell you, I have, unlike some who have, continue, like I said, to work out. I'm really more planned for a famine with the way I've taken care of myself over the years. Andy Moore stands in there, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs.
It's probably your diet.
Well, that chicken gizzards does not help. I can tell you, they do not help. They and last night, Carson and I did a little fishing out at Wolf Creek, and then came back to town and eating Little Caesar's pizza at 9 o'clock. Probably doesn't help either.
Not at all. But hey, what a way to end your day.
That's right. Andy Moore, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I think that's going to be. You get it? Oh my goodness, we couldn't see, but yeah, I guess the right fielder got under that one for out number 3. Cut the lead now. Scores 10-2. West Georgia back coming to bat.
Getting off the strikeout inning for West Georgia.
Number 1, Tucker Bream, first baseman. Third baseman, starts off the inning. We got 50 people watching.
That's fantastic.
Yep. Especially considering, we've had some technical difficulties along the way. That is going to be over our center fielder's head. Clarke catches it hits Beta.
Wow, that ball was hit.
He smoked that one. That one was hit all the way deep center field, almost at the base of the flagpole.
Well, Scott,
Clarke was on his horse.
after you announce this hitter, I want to ask you a question.
I may not announce him. Number 11, right fielder Dylan Johnston stands in there with nobody out, runner at second.
So I got to know, you went fishing yesterday. We kind of was talking about that last inning. You went fishing with your son, correct?
Correct.
I got to know, how many fish did you catch?
I lost count.
Did you eat more pizza when you got home than you caught fish?
I did eat. We didn't bring any fish home with us. We put them all back in there.
You're still not answering your diet. Are you running for office?
I'm not. I'm calculating. I need an abacus. Do you have an abacus handy for me to?
No, but I've got somebody back here that knows how many fish you caught.
I don't think I caught any. I don't think I brought them to shore, but I didn't want to touch them because I still have my work clothes on. So I fought them long enough till they spit the hook out. It's a little trick. Most people haven't mastered that, but I have. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runner at second with a leadoff double.
And Keith Micklig has designated this our strikeout inning, so some lucky fan may win. What are they going to win, Keith? We have an assortment of GSW prizes that some lucky fan's going to win if we get this strikeout right here.
Awesome.
Correction, when we get this strikeout, as Cole was giving me some advice here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 right there. Dylan Johnston called that one. Johnston takes the long stride to the dugout.
Prize to add to our prize pool. Thanks to that strikeout by the GSW pitching staff. And Matthew Snyder.
Number 6, Nick Poski, catcher.
Nick Poski
stands in there.
Do
One out, runner at second.
Do you qualify for GSW gear, I guess?
I tell you what, the school has, of course, you and I volunteer our time here, but they have been very kind to us with GSW gear and like this shirt I'm wearing. Have you got your shirt stitched yet? Did you see?
I hadn't got it stitched yet,
you
Scott.
better get on your horse, man. It's the first time I've worn it.
You look good in it.
Well, that goes without saying. Like most shirts I wear.
Snyder looks like he's getting a little steam ahead of him here, bud. Settling down a little bit.
Poski, the catcher, stands in there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at second. Snyder from Skipstone High School Academy.
Yeah, I don't know what Keith's thinking. I mean, why do we just designate one inning as a
I think
strikeout?
maybe we can carry this over to the
Has he lost his mind?
Maybe he'll designate the bottom half as a 9-run inning.
We need to do something.
He says the scoring innings not till the 5th. I'm sorry. So, fly ball. Beta caught it. Whoa!
Oh, I thought he came off the bag, Scott.
He almost did. I tell you what, my boy Tyler Skelton gave a little bit more of a push there when he was.
We needed a little Kent Herbeck move.
We did, and there was talk about the word of the day. The inertia carried him off the base, but I'm telling you, give credit to that West Georgia runner. He planted because I've seen lesser men fall off the base and something like that, especially when you got a third baseman applying the tag to you rather forcefully.
Skelton's probably too young to remember Herbeck, but I think I'm going to pull that film up for him and let him see how to do it. And a little big guy like Ron Gant.
That's exactly, yeah, because he sure got Ron Gant. And, my feelings were hurt a little bit after that one. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs thanks to Mr. Beta. Oh, and Beta came up firing. Tucker Breen was lucky to stay on the base.
That's coming back here with us, Scott.
We got a gosh.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Thanks. Look at
Why didn't you catch that?
Oh, you did? Look at that,
Cole
Carson.
caught it. Take that ball home with you, Cole. Here, I'll sign it for you.
What kind of workers' comp does the college have on the two
Very
of us?
poor with us.
I bet it is, because I tell you, I think that one might have hit me in my eyeball.
Your head's swelling up.
It is. Two balls, one strike, two outs. Brian Danzero hits a line drive, I believe, Mr. Clarke. Oh, no, look at there. Halcomb came in.
Wow.
And snagged that one. He called it and made it for out number 3. So even though this is not going to be the scoring inning by Mickley, we'll call the bottom of this inning the scoring inning.
Here we go. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Bottom of the 4th inning, even though Mr. Micklig has not labeled this the scoring inning, Ryan and I will. We'll each have our own scoring innings.
Shortstop, Matthew Mamadas.
Matthew Mamadas, our shortstop, stands in there to face Tyler Garner. I told you I was going to find out where Tate, Georgia was. It's in Pickens County, Georgia. I'm surprised I didn't know. I've probably driven through it in a long time because I grew up in Alpharetta and traipsed around North Georgia a good bit in my younger days. But Tate, Georgia includes the main quarries of the Georgia Marble Company. They grow them big up there.
Go, Mamadas. Way to hustle. So
Mamadas hits it to the pitcher. Can't find the handle. Mamadas running down that baseline like Ryan Young.
not a chance. I'm going to give him a hit. That cat was hustling.
He hustled, and that was a hot shot back to the pitcher. We're going to try to milk you an H out of it, Mr. Mamadas. Swing and a miss, Bo Halcomb.
I should have gave Mr. Mamadas my cell phone number. Next time you hear Mr. Mamadas, you get my cell phone number. I'm scared to put it out on the air.
Yes. Yeah, me too. Bo Halcomb made a heck of a play to end the top half of the inning. Came out of nowhere and snagged that high fly ball left center.
So Mamadas almost got caught in no man's land out there.
Just a few inches farther or leaning the wrong direction would have been ugly.
But Mamadas could outrun me backwards.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think that goes without saying. He could outrun me with a sack race, and I wouldn't have had the sack. Ball 1, Halcomb, good eye. That was a good 2-strike pitch right there. But Mr. Halcomb did not bite. It's good weather. Got us some more fans out.
Beautiful day here at Hurricane Stadium.
High fly ball, right fielder. He reached up. I tell you, that right there was a tough play by that right fielder, but he reached up and got it for out number 1.
Probably a bat length away from getting out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Third baseman Tyler Skelton.
Number 1, Tyler Skelton, our third baseman, steps in there. Runner at first, 1 out. Fly ball towards the Wolves dugout. Almost said Braves dugout. Wolves dugout. Yes, West Georgia was the Braves they were the Braves when I was there.
So it's tune in to us, Cole, and you could have got that story earlier on.
You could have heard the whole history, according to Scott. I'm sure that if we allowed some.
We'll bear our listeners that whole story again, but it was interesting nonetheless. I asked for it. I wanted to know the story behind that.
Foul ball back towards the swimming pool. Count remains 0-2. Foul ball.
We didn't get the other one, though. I think it went in the pool area. I'll get over there. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that game's probably not open. Yeah, don't. Don't hesitate at the house. If not, we're just going to sit there doing nothing anyways. Well, you're over here.
Boy, his catcher was trying to make him run through the fence there.
Yeah. Was it the catcher or the pitcher?
That's the catcher calling that. He said he had room, and that ball was out of play. But nevertheless, I don't see how Skelton got up to hit that ball, to be honest with you. That was a fastball up and in. I don't know how he got his hands up there to hit that ball. But he's fighting away up there.
I'm going to say it was hand-eye coordination.
No doubt. I'm going to have to challenge Skelton in a game of ping pong.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Umpire called that strike 3. We'll get him an entry in our regional ice center drawing at the end of the season for a gift certificate. Bradley Huff, number 10, our first baseman, steps in there with 2 outs. Runner at first.
Baseman Bradley Huff.
I don't want to put any added pressure on Mr. Huff, but this was my scoring inning. So I need a SCO to save face up here in the press box. Line drive, fielded and caught by left fielder Jamond Williams, and that'll do us for the bottom of the 4th. Go to the top of the 5th, down 10-2.
You're listening to Surge Sports Network.
Steps in there, top of the 5th inning. Number 10, Cade Marlowe, center fielder, leads it off, takes ball 1.
Leading off the 5th inning for West Georgia center fielder Cade Marlowe.
Scott, I got a funny feeling that I'm going to get a text this inning. I just feel it. From one of our
esteemed listeners.
Absolutely. So if you do have my cell phone number, tell us what you're thinking.
I wonder if
we may say it on there. We may not. Depends on what you say.
That's right. If it's complimentary, a lot more likely to get on the air. How many folks from Carrollton we have listening, but I remember the days when Pollard's Drive-In was on that side of town that's no longer there. Part of the extra weight I carry now is attributed to Jerry's Country Kitchen and Brock Edie and Miss Jerry and all the folks up there. Go by there and you can tell them we heard some fool on the YouTube. Give them a plug.
You think they get a discount for that?
I don't know, man, but I tell you what, their biscuit's about the size of that hat right there at that place, man. Marlowe gets under that one. Clarke on his horse makes the catch.
Good catch.
Clarke, I tell you, he just did not slow down. Ran like his hair was on fire.
I can't tell you how hard that is to make that catch.
Oh,
I mean, running full speed backwards. We don't have a warning track out
No.
there either, so he was right there. Knows he may have a chance to chew on that fence a little bit and made a over-the-shoulder catch. What a fabulous catch.
Willie Mays-esque.
It was Willie Mays-esque style.
Logan Taylor, first baseman, number 16, steps in there.
Hallie Turner working camera number 1, so she's doing a fantastic job there working camera behind the plate. We scared her a little bit. She thought she was going to get a demotion and have to come over here and do the radio with you, Scott.
I tell you, then, yeah, I would hand it off to Hallie, and I just that right there, we would have more than 60 viewers. I can promise you that. I'm going to tell you, people that know Ryan and I outside of this, we are slowly, steadily getting more comfortable with this, which should scare
the bejesus out of people.
It should, because as we steadily get more comfortable, we will push the envelope a little farther and a little farther until we're just taking off the air.
And I hadn't even swore on the radio yet.
Not yet, but it's coming. I know, it's coming. It's coming. Full count.
Many more of these 10-2 ball games. It's coming.
It is.
But
look at that ominous sign.
Oh, buzzards.
I mean, hundreds. Buzzards have just, must have been from that pizza I ate last night.
Sure wasn't the fish that you caught.
No.
Oh.
Tough play down the third base line. May end up being a double. And is. Halcomb gets it right at the bottom of the Zaxby's foul pole, F-O-W-L pole. Buzzards have moved over the field. I don't know what I'm telling you. They must have got a call that the rest of us didn't. The clouds are
Hallie's trying to get the shot of the Buzzards.
Yeah, so they've split up. They split up. Some have moved over towards the neighborhood. Let me tell you, a cold, eerie breeze is blowing amongst us. Yeah, I mean,
can you diagnose what's going on here?
It's dropped 10 degrees. Buzzards have moved in. Clouds have moved in. A ball has hit the deep center field. God bless Clarke on that one. They couldn't get to that one. No, Deion Sanders couldn't have got to that one. It's going to be a triple. Score a run, make the score 11-2. And I'm going to tell you what, it is flat got chilly, boys.
It has. I did come prepared, though.
I didn't.
I can make a trip to the Parker's Heating and Air truck here in just a minute and get me a pullover.
I may have to go to the Southwest Georgia Farm Credit truck and see what I got a jacket or two in there.
Wow. As Coach McDonald comes on and he's going to go to the bullpen. He's going to the bullpen to call on Peyton Sales. So,
and I'll have an interesting story about Peyton Sales when we come back.
And I'm going to get a pullover, and you're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Georgia, my own, yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, Perry Sales. I'm sorry, Peyton Sales.
Perry Sales.
I was so much better a few seconds ago.
It's Colorado trip.
Peyton
we will
Sales
never let you go back to Colorado,
from
Scott.
Perry, Georgia. Peyton Sales from Perry, Georgia, and they're fire striking the world. Let me tell you a funny story about Peyton Sales. You ready to hear this?
I'm ready.
I've been waiting all season to tell a story. Peyton, from Perry, his mom works at a real estate appraisal company, and Warner Robbins that I have tons of friends at. She's become a friend of mine. But when my son was a freshman at Georgia Southern went up to Duke University to play basketball. And we got tickets, and my son and I, we were able to stand on the floor in that game. And, of course, Georgia Southern hung around for about 3 quarters, and then after that, the wheels fell off. But it was a lot of fun. And she called because she was going to take her son to Duke, and so I was able to kind of give her some pointers on how to maneuver the system and get the tickets and all that kind of stuff. And here stands Peyton in here, 2-1 count. Makes a good look at there. Look at Peyton.
Good job.
Good job, buddy. He's dead. Yeah, right there. Scored 1-2-5 at home. Out number 2. Heads up play by Peyton. Runner gets it to second on a fielder's choice.
And Scott, Peyton Sales, he tall, lanky. If he can find his groove, he can be a lights-out pitcher. I've seen him have a couple of good outings. Although he hadn't pitched quite that much, I have witnessed him pitching here at home. I forget who he pitched against, but he had a good outing that day.
Well,
he was unhittable.
He made a heads-up, got a ground ball right back to him, made a heads-up play to get the guy going from third to home.
Looks like when he lets go of the ball, it's already at home plate. He's so tall and lanky.
It was a pitcher the Mets had back in the 80s. You don't remember Sid Finch, do you?
I don't.
Yeah.
He played with the World Series Mets?
Right around that time. He was actually an April Fool's joke that Sports Illustrated ran at the time. During spring training, they had this pitcher that, you look him up and look at the article. It was It was back when the Mets just had all the Dwight Gooden and all those kind of
Strawberry
and all those back in there. And, you know, they were a powerhouse, and all of a sudden they had found some new pitcher that was from some geographic anomaly out of the middle of nowhere and had played. He pitched with one shoe on, and he was a tall, lanky pitcher. But Sid Finch, and everybody bid on it for a while, but it was determined to be an April Fool's joke. It was a legit article. It was back when Sports Illustrated was worth reading and worth subscribing to. And but yes, Sid Finch, as we come up on April Fools.
You got something in store for anybody, Scott?
I don't.
Have you been planning anything?
I don't. You know, one time, one of my favorite ones, I had just purchased a new truck one time, and just a few years ago, and I found a picture of a truck similar to mine somebody had buried in a pond. And I posted it on Facebook like I had put my truck in a pond somewhere. Strike 3,
Good.
Peyton Sales, sends them to the dugout. Here we go, bottom of the inning, down 11-2.
Defensive half inning. Now it's up to the offense. Hurricanes got to push across the run in the fifth to get you a prize.
Jacob Harrell, number 24, steps in there. Mick League has labeled this the scoring inning, bottom of the fifth.
I hope Mick League's a lot better at calling it than you are.
I know he will be. But anyway, I was saying some April Fool's jokes in the last inning. I found a picture of a truck that looked like mine that had been buried in a pond somewhere that looked like it was somewhere in Georgia. And I put it on there, and folks bit hook, line, and sinker. I did. Now, last year what I did, and I kind of felt bad about this, April Fool joke. What? No way he swung. No, he didn't swing at that. No, I was about to say, you be checking down there. Anyway, counts 1-1. Last year, I went on Facebook about 2 or 3 days before April Fool's and changed my birthday to April 1st. And everybody was wishing
Happy birthday.
Everybody was wishing me happy birthday. And I felt bad because people were sweet and kind and wished me happy birthday. So
you didn't feel bad.
I did. It backfired on me. So I, got to count.
Harold singled up out to center field his last at bat, didn't he?
Ryan, I am freezing to death.
You want me to run out to your truck and get you something?
No. Harold grounds out to the pitcher. Out number 1, hot shot ball.
You want to snuggle?
Well, yeah. Let me tell you, I've done worse.
I'd hate to see her.
Oh.
Back at the top of the order, the Hurricanes' second baseman, Jason Beta.
Jason Beta, number 13, steps in there, 1 out. Garner's still in there pitching. Garner, the giant from Tate, Georgia. Strike 1, count 1-1, 1 out. No more buzzers in the air. Ominous clouds look to be gathering around. Out number 2.
Hard hit.
Yes. Rocket shot. Cole Clarke, center fielder,
Clarke.
made some great plays out in center field today, and he has been active out there.
Yes, he has. And Beta hit that ball so hard, even a professional camera worker like Hallie Turner could not keep up with that. That ball was smoked.
Is she union?
She is a union worker.
I'm just curious.
We got Cole Trickle up here DJing for us. Billy Mix Jr. on the scoreboard.
Clarke 1-1 with 2 outs. 2-1 from the gentleman from the other side of Hoboken, Georgia.
Huh? Well, Mickley, we're going to have a 2-out rally. I'm going to have to call the score and inning, okay? You guys leave it to the professional, okay?
Surprised by the 7th, so we gotta. I was running out of time. It's either this or the 6th. By the way, where's your little notes? Your note packet.
Wow, good awareness.
And that's how it's been going for our Southwestern right there. That's anyway, takes us to the top of the 6th, down 11-2.
Third baseman Tucker Green.
Leading off for the West Georgia Wolves, leading off the top of the 6th inning. Third baseman Tucker Breen.
And Scott, just so our listeners know that we talked about the scoring innings, leave it up to our SID to do the research. But he was playing the percentages. So Georgia Southwestern has scored 45 runs in the 5th inning this year.
Wow. See, so he was playing dirty pool. He wouldn't let us know that.
That's
so
cool.
what's the second most? Look at that, man. Is it the 8th inning? It's pretty strong.
It's tied for the 3rd inning where we score 26 runs in the 8th and the 3rd inning.
Yeah. Hit by pitch, is that what? Okay. We were looking at our stats here.
Interesting enough, Scott, if you look, the opponents have scored 36 runs in the 1st and 33 in the 3rd. Look out at the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm. 3rd inning. Tucker Breen, leadoff batter on base after being hit by pitch. Right fielder Dylan Johnson batting in the 9 spot.
And Sale's not a real hard thrower, but he has so much movement on that fastball. That thing will move 1.5 feet on you and that's very difficult to hit. He throws kind of three-quarter sidearm. Good play, Mamadas. Wow. Not a whole lot Mamadas could do going deep in the hole right there. The runner had a good jump on that. He didn't have a play at second base. He had to make the long throw to first, but the Wheels got West Georgia down to first base safely. But a great play by Mamadas.
Back to the leadoff, number 6, Nick Poskey, catcher. You know, saw the last out in the last out of the previous half inning for the Hurricanes. It's just indicative of how this game has gone. You had a ball get past the first line on the defense, and there was somebody there to back them up and still got them out. Pass ball gets the runners to second and third, nobody out. Count 1-0. Sale steps off.
I got to start bringing money to the ballpark. My daughter's coming over here. I got a tab up there, Scott, if you want something.
I give my kid $9 a while ago to go up there. Line drive, single, scores 2 runs, left field, makes the score 13-2. I give my kid $9 to go up there at the beginning of the game. He brings me back a water and a piece of pound cake. You know what he had? Water, pound cake, and a Kit Kat.
Did he have money left over?
No, I haven't got any change. No, he was just, I mean, you know, if I'd have given him $90, I'd have got a water and a pound cake, and he would have had, you know, everything else up there. Peanuts, chicken gizzards, nothing for me.
I'm going to cook you some chicken gizzards. Bring them out here. You a chicken gizzard? You like chicken gizzard?
There you go, hot sauce. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell you, Harold is going to sleep very good tonight. He has worked his tail off back there.
Bless him. He has really had some tough pitches to handle today. Wind picks up. I mean, in the past hour, it has dropped 20 degrees.
I was going to see what the temperature was here right now. Let me check into that for you.
I would, but my fingers are frostbit.
Say that. 67 degrees.
I don't think I don't. As they say in that SNL Alexa commercial, I don't know about that.
You don't think that's right?
I don't think it is.
The wind chill, though.
Well,
don't tell me the wind
67
chill.
feels like 30.
And you just came from Colorado.
Well, I know.
You got to toughen
it was
up.
50, 55 degrees there every afternoon. Nice, crisp.
Dry.
Dry. That's it. Dry. One thing I did notice out there in Colorado, all the people just so fit, in good shape. Did see a lot of golden corrals out there.
No chicken gizzards.
No chicken gizzards, no golden corrals. You know, I found it funny that but I want to tell you one thing I did have. Let me tell you one thing I had. I went to a little pub there, and I went with the people that were in my class one night to eat. Ball 4.
The Hurricane bullpen stirs up again.
Danzero's at first base. Marlowe steps in there. But I went out to eat with some people in our class one night, and it was a pub. And I'm not typically a big pub fan, you know, but they some of them had been there before and said, it's good, just trust us, Scott. So I said, okay. So we went up there, and I'm sitting there begrudgingly, but trying not to, you know, complain too much. So I look at the menu, and, of course, it's got typical pub food. They had a thing on the top of their menu said country fried steak and gravy.
I don't believe it.
Mashed potatoes. I didn't believe it either. So I ordered it. The name of this pub is in Glendale, Arizona. Please feel free to look it up. It's been around since 1971. But it's called Bull and Bush in Glendale, Colorado. Foul ball. That's the best country fried steak and gravy I've ever had in my life.
Shut your mouth.
I am not kidding you. I mean, I had a couple of guys from Texas in the class with me. I had some folks from Michigan, all this kind of stuff. We went there, and we had that. We went back the next night. I got the country fried chicken and gravy, and it was just as good. But
Better
the last,
Miss Gladys?
it was pretty doggone good. I ain't gonna lie to you. But of course not better than Miss Gladys. But it was pretty good stuff. But so then the last night, that same group, a guy from Florida, a couple from Texas, a couple from Michigan, and there was we invited this little 25, 30-year-old girl. Low pitch, scooped up away and hit out there. J-Mar gets under it. Fire comes up firing. Out number one. Runners remain at first and second. So we're out there in Colorado, and the last night we go to this place, just a little hamburger joint, and we had a little girl in there, 25 years old, 25, 30 years old, you know, and she was out with all the two Texans and me, and I'll tell you what happened. So I'm sitting there we're educating this girl about, you know, she's an appraiser. She specializes in vineyard and winery appraisals. And I started realizing when I started talking about hog brains and eggs and stuff like that, she looked at me like I had two heads, like, you know, like. And so I said, "You've never heard that?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, let me just educate you." I said, "Have you ever heard of a switch? Do you know what a switch?" The girl had no idea what a switch was. She said, "Like a light switch?" I said, No. Like a switch you strap your legs with. So she sat there, and so the boys from Texas picked up where I left off, and the boy from Florida, he was a little bit country himself. He was from Winter Haven. And we explained to her, at the end of the night, she says, "I feel like I'm a foreign exchange student." Is what she said. So,
well, you got to get her down to South Georgia.
Well, that's what I told her. I said, "Listen," I said, "you know, she's a sweet little old girl, you know,
Probably explains why she don't know what a switch is."
So I was cutting the fool with her the whole time. Here I am at this hamburger joint out there, and this was in Cherry Creek, Colorado. It's called the Cherry Cricket. It's where we were eating. Neat little old, like, 40s type drive-in place. Called for strike number two. Count 2 and 2. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You say something, Ryan?
I just said good pitch.
Oh, it was a good pitch. It was. So we're sitting there, and I see these people, you know, we're talking about all this kind of stuff, like shooting armadillos and stuff, and I see these two people at the table next to me looking. I thought, Scott, you ain't in South Georgia. You might not stop talking about shooting armadillos, just, you know, and all this kind of stuff. Line drive center field. Clarke comes up firing, but not before a run scores, makes the score 14-2. So these people kept looking at me. And so I toned it down a little bit and didn't want to be offensive to anybody. Well, afterwards, they come walk over there, and they're going to talk to me. This gal, she comes up to me, and she says, "I can tell from your accent you're from Georgia." And I thought, yes. She said, "I'm from Cordele."
Oh, my Lord.
And the other guy told me, he said his grandmother was from Plains.
Oh, good. Small world. I'm glad you were behaving.
We had revival right there.
Right on the spot.
Right there. And it was interesting, and so you just never know. Foul ball.
Wow. That
There's
almost drew chalk.
Yep. Let me tell you another place out there. You know, pretty much when I go somewhere, I'm going to find out eating joints, as you can imagine. But there was this place called I think it was called the Buckhorn Exchange or something in Denver, and it's a downtown landmark. It had the very first liquor license given in the state of Colorado. But you go in there, Ryan, and there's animal heads from all over the world. I mean, I think they even had like a snow owl stuffed in there in that place. I mean, I ain't kidding you. I'll show you the pictures between games. I mean, between innings. And
that was probably the one that they killed on Dumb and Dumber.
May have been. So I go in there, and they've got venison on the menu. They've got quail. They had goat. I mean, not goat, lamb. I'm sorry, lamb.
One of my favorite meals.
High ball, J-Mar gets under it, catches it. Runner tags from second, going into third. Will go up standing. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Score 14-2.
Yeah,
We
lamb
got
chops.
lamb
that is one of my favorite meals.
Well, let me tell you, you need to go there because I was not, I got them confused with goat because my wife loves that goat cheese from Carrabba's and it tastes like a goat smell. So but the instructor who was from Idaho told me, he said, yeah, try the Colorado lamb. It's bigger. That's the best stuff I ever had.
That's fantastic. Medium rare? Did you get it medium rare?
I did. I went ahead and went medium to medium well. Just
medium rare. Don't ever get lamb cooked over medium rare.
Well, I didn't know. I needed you there with me.
They got to get on their horse. Good play by
J-Mar,
J-Mar.
look at there. Good play. Out number 3. Stops the bleeding. Score 14-2. Cole, let's see. J-Mar, is that J-Mar coming up?
It is J-Mar.
All right, J-Mar, right fielder, steps in there, gets ready to hit.
So, Scott, I mean, you've probably made, if nobody's eaten supper already, because you made me hungry, and you just showed me pictures of all that you had on your plate out there in Colorado, and it does look scrumptious.
It was. I'm telling you what's the truth. I mean, and I don't see how I came back. I had lost 2 pounds while I was out there. Fly ball, deep center field.
That ball took 5 minutes to come down.
I dozed off.
I did too.
I dozed off while I was in the air. If it hadn't been for that safety earlier in the game, we down 2 touchdowns and we got a safety. We've answered with a safety, so scores 14-2.
We need a Hail Mary right here.
We need something. Andy Moore, number 2.
Designated hitter Andy Moore.
Still have a lot of loyal fans out here. Some loyal listeners still. If you're still with us, thank you for staying with us.
Ryan, I'm going to tell you something, and I hope it just stays between me and you and our 59 viewers.
I won't say a word.
I really need to win that lottery tomorrow night.
Oh, will you still come back and do tomorrow's
I
game?
will. Oh, most assuredly. I'll be like Forrest Gump. I'll come out here and
cut. A press box
I will.
Here?
Let me tell you, there'll be the Scott Westbrook press box and bikini waxing shed will be right here.
I sign me up. I need a good bikini wax.
You do. I've been meaning to say something, but
well, but I won't tell anybody.
That's right. But yes, I will have it.
Attaboy, Andy. Well.
I just got a text. My wife might not have liked what I just said. No, it's from somebody else.
Andy Moore.
She's subject to say yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Subject to tell me the front door's locked or something like that.
You got a key.
I do what?
You got a key.
I guess so.
So to the plate, shortstop Matthew Mamadas.
Mamadas takes strike 1.
What is the Powerball up to tonight, Scott?
I think it's tomorrow night, $750 million.
No, that's not big enough for me to play.
I know. You got to get up there to 1 billion mark.
Yeah.
But I tell you, somebody that has 2 kids in college.
What a catch right there in foul territory, and that's going to end the inning for the Hurricanes. So Mamadas flies out in foul territory, and that's going to take us to the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Thank you.
So a few defensive changes, Scott.
Got Tyler Summerall from Soperton, Georgia, out there in left field, and Colby Hall behind the plate catching from Valdosta, Lowndes County. I met his coach earlier today. He has some his high school coach is here, sitting over there right behind Haley. And Hallie, I'm sorry, Hallie. I'm sitting over there. His son, his high school coach's son plays for West Georgia.
Okay.
So I met them before the game. If you got here a little bit early, you might would have been able to met some of the fans. You know, I try to be the Chamber of Commerce and tourism when we see some fans. And you know, people don't realize what you and I do out here when these people come visiting from out of town. How we roll out the red carpet for them, you know.
They want to come back to see us, Scott.
You would think
we're missing Mr. Mamadas tonight. I hope you're still tuning in, Mr. Mamadas.
I hope he's one of the 55.
I guarantee you he is. But I tell you, you know, Scott and I kind of have our little tradition. We go down and talk to the team a little bit, talk to Coach Lamoth, Coach McDonald.
They tolerate us.
They do. Very they welcome us down there, though, Scott. They do. They're okay, but they do tolerate us.
Yes.
And, Scott, I will say I appreciate Coach McDonald. He gave me an opportunity to talk to the team I think it was last week.
Monday, I think is when you told me.
Well, I think I went Friday.
Okay,
actually.
okay.
Had some scheduling conflicts,
right.
But he allowed me to come speak to the team about my friend Evan Bozoff. Talk to him about some other things. But I enjoyed that, and I appreciate Coach McDonald and Coach Lamoth allowing me to talk to the team about my friend Evan Bozoff and making them aware of meningitis. A lot of them didn't know, and this is the whole purpose of me going to talk to the team, but a lot of them didn't know that Evan Bozoff's remains are out on that pitcher's mound, so he's with them.
Number is out in left field. Banner.
Only number we've had retired in baseball, and that number was retired. Let's see, we actually dedicated it again back a few years back. Of course, his mom was very instrumental. She started the National Meningitis Association, and she lost her fight with cancer this year. Actually last year, so.
Ball 4. Wortham, leadoff batter, at first base.
I want to remind everybody to get a golf ball. The hailstorm coming up May the 10th.
It'll be here before you know it. Be here before you know it.
Tickets are almost, they're running out.
I mean, you know, folks
if
will go by
if you're a baseball, if you are a baseball supporter, pick a player, give them credit for it. We got 2 up here lobbying for it. Cole and little Mix over here. You like that, don't you, Mix? Yeah, he likes it. But we are going to have a big shindig May the 10th.
And those people lining up buying them lottery tickets, you got a chance in a bazillion to win the lottery, but you'll have a chance of 1 in 2,000 to win 25,000. Swing and a miss. Count 2-1.
You know, Scott, I'm still unsure how this game's going to turn out because I've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
But we may have to find another game to dedicate to Mr. Mamadas. I mean, I tell you what.
Yeah.
You know.
Line drive. Jamar catches it, comes up firing, going to try to double him off at first. Almost.
Mr. Mamadas is in search of some food right now because of you.
Well, I tell you, talking about it kind of made me a little more hungry too. Trying to figure out, yeah, well, I can skip a meal. I know. I can afford to skip a meal or two. But I won't.
I always enjoy eating. Who don't?
That's right. I still see that dent North Georgia left on our metal building back there from a errant foul ball.
Tell you what, one other thing too, Scott, when we had a pretty good alumni week, we got some of those guys that are listening. I know Mr. Owl's probably listening all the way in New York. Give him a shout out. You know, we're trying to encourage our younger, and we'll have a lot more success hopefully next year. We had those guys come back. I think they played in the 70s maybe.
Wow.
But 40 years later, they still stay strong, and, you know, a lot of relationships are built here on this diamond and around this field. And a lot to be said for those guys staying together 40 years. They always come back and support us, come from a long way, some I think from Colorado, some from New York.
Wow.
All parts of the country, these guys come back to see each other. And they had a good time, and I'm glad they support the program, and we were happy to have them here.
Even some from outside the country. I think there was one from New Mexico.
But those guys are challenging us younger folks. I'm glad they consider me younger, but they're challenging us to get these alumni back on campus, and we'll do that. So, Mr. Owl and you guys from the 70s, if you're listening, hello from Americus.
Come back anytime.
And stay listening. Mr. Owl, there's a lot of people in New York. You could probably boost our listening viewers or watching viewers.
Because they're not used to top-notch media up there.
Coach Ben Hicks has just joined us. Glad to see him. I'm amazed he's not in Panama City, Scott. I tell you what, normally after the season he's probably hot on the recruiting trail, but he camps out down in Panama City a lot.
Well, that's –
we've tried to get him to put in a play this year in basketball called Panama. He never would do it for me. Hopefully next year he's going to put in the Panama play.
He'll probably only need about a 40-point lead with a minute left to start running some of your plays.
Well, you know, when we win in basketball, you know what song we play?
What's that?
Panama.
There you go. There you go. I tell you what, these clouds are coming in, but it has made for a very colorful sunset. So if you're not here with us right now, you're missing out. Ball one, strike one, 1 out. Runners on first and second. We ain't quite to the 2-minute warning.
How's your bracket shaping out, Scott?
You know, I did not, since I was in Colorado, they ran at the office, they put some out, but the class I had out there was a little more intense than I anticipated, so I did not even really have time to put one together.
Have you kept up with any of the games?
Most assuredly I have. I'm a basketball fan. I watched it actually the entire flight back. I was glad that
Who'd you watch? Was it Duke? Did you watch Duke?
I watched Duke in Central Florida.
That was a heck of a game.
It was a heck of a game, and normally I root for the underdog, but on that game I did root for Duke because I was afraid. You know, I think Duke won the 2015 national championship. I was afraid if Central Florida won, they would have had a banner in their gym claiming a national championship like they did in football. So I'm kind of glad Duke kind of sent them home with that one because I'm getting a little tired of that little
charade.
Yeah, exactly. I may have to put a national championship banner at my own house.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told McDonald and Coach Hicks. Why don't we just throw banners everywhere?
That's exactly right.
If they can get away with it, ain't nothing against Central Florida.
No, but that's a little overboard. That just shows you makes me wonder who's making the decisions down there. You got to just say, look here.
Tighten up, boys.
We agreed to play by the set of rules, and that's. What they don't realize is years ago. Remember, Auburn went when Terry Bowden was there. They went undefeated, and didn't get a chance to play for the national championship. You don't see Auburn raising some fake banner.
Smoked out to left field. That's going to go all the way to the wall and score one. And he's in there for a stand-up double.
I don't really want to point any fingers at the way this game's going, but I think Micklig is the one that decided that we back it up 30 minutes. I think that was his decision.
Yeah.
And I think our boys
threw him off a little bit.
Threw the timing off a little bit.
Hey,
I don't want to see it.
Second baseman Brian Danzaru.
Well, baseball players typically are a little bit superstitious.
I know, yeah.
You screw them up a little bit for 30 minutes. And, I don't even think they told West Georgia.
No.
So West Georgia fortunately got here on time, being able to play at 5:30. So.
It's bad luck to be superstitious.
It sure is. Back to that Duke game, I tell you what, that kid from Central Florida, have you ever seen anybody that big? I mean, he can't. Good gosh, he could just stand up. He didn't even have to jump to dunk the ball.
Well, there's a pretty popular video that came out when he was in high school. It was I saw it. It went viral, and he was playing in high school, and he looked like like a really, just to be honest with you, kind of a geeky kid out there playing, but he was such a handful, and it was kind of a larger high school player, a little more like an offensive lineman that was trying to guard him, and he looked over at his coach like, "Coach, what you want me to do? Ain't nothing I can do with this guy."
He's 7'6", right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
7 feet 6 inches tall, what they have him listed at.
Yeah.
I believe he hits every bit of it as. Sales strikes out the hitter for out number 2.
Center fielder Cade Marlowe.
I believe that was that Danzaru that struck out. I'm not sure. 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Scores 15-2, as Ryan would say. We got them right where we want them.
Got them right there. And Scott, when you got 5 games in a week, now it's 15-2. Coach McDonald and Lamoth have. Some decisions to make. We got a game tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm not sure what they'll do tomorrow. Tucker Smith pitched Saturday in some of those starters, so it's probably time for them to throw a pin. I don't know if they'll come back and, let those guys throw a couple of innings or not. So, but, you got to manage that bullpen appropriately with 5 games this week.
Yeah.
That gets tough on the pitching staff.
No time to rest.
Wow, he can move.
He sure can. Vedic takes it, fires it first. Out number 3.
And that 7
Bringing things up for the Hurricanes. Left fielder, Summerall.
Bottom of the 7th inning. This is it. This is going to be our rally inning to build on the next two. Score is 15-2.
So is this Summerall?
I believe it is.
Or is this Clarke?
That's Summerall.
So Summerall's up. Summerall's only had 2 at-bats this year, so chance for Summerall to showcase a little talent here.
I think he fouled that one off his foot.
If his mom and dad are watching or listening.
I think in Soperton, Georgia.
Oh, Soperton. I know some folks from Soperton.
Fruitland County.
And you know, Scott, we start talking about the Duke game, and I'll be doggone if we don't have folks wearing Duke hats around here pulling for the basketball team.
That's Miss Sales who
of course, Miss Sales will wear a Hurricanes hat when the Hurricanes are playing.
That's right.
On basketball.
Swing and a miss. Strike number 3 for out number 1. Jamison Wilkes, he came in to play, I think, third base last inning. I don't know if we gave him a shout-out or not. I'm sorry about that. Jamison, sophomore, Paulding County, North Paulding High School. And there to bat. Ball 1.
Keith Micklig is back here passing out goodies to our good-looking GSW fans.
Playing Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We got J. Mar's family up here claiming some prizes. So something to take home to decorate the house with. Scott, I took my kids up to Athens this weekend to watch a little bit of Georgia baseball and softball, and I tell you what, I enjoy watching college baseball. Georgia's got a heck of a ball club. They were playing LSU.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 games, only 3 runs scored in 18 innings. And we watched a little baseball for about 6 innings, and then we took the girls over to watch softball, and I'm going to tell you something. Now, it was a sellout crowd at baseball, about 3,500 folks there at the baseball game, 3,500 folks. Went to softball, and, of course, they got free admission in softball. But I'm going to tell you something. It is night and day as far as the atmosphere goes at the baseball game and the softball game. It is like a rock concert.
I know.
I can tell you that.
Yep.
So, of course, you can come out here and watch some great softball and baseball. But, you know, with Athens, they draw a pretty big crowd. And girls had a lot of fun up there.
Those softball games at those bigger schools like that, it's almost like how, and I've never been to one, but those baseball games they have in Japan, where folks are just wide open the whole game. I mean, is that about how it was?
Softball was definitely like
that. Yeah.
A lot of kids around, and but, you know, that's great. And my whole thing, what I want to lean into is bring your kids out here. I mean, get them involved in collegiate sports. And
especially those of you that have kids playing rec baseball now or middle school. I mean, we know those of us who have kids playing that, we can see what they're doing wrong and tell them till they're blue in the face, and they will ignore us. But if you just bring them out here and sit here and say, hey, what's that kid out there? What's that college player that plays your position? Look what he does. He does exactly what I'm telling you to do. That right there, you can tell your kid to do that 1,000 times, but if he sees a kid out here playing at this level, doing what you're telling, it gets through to them a lot simpler. I mean,
that's right. And I mean, you know, you can see the success and failures out here, and I mean, you know, it happens at the top level. I mean, and how they deal with it, the success and the failures. I mean, you know, baseball, you know, you can get in the Hall of Fame if you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you know, it's a tough sport to get a hold to, but hey, listen. We're going to
top of the 8th.
Top of the 8th. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Leading off, top of the 8 for West Georgia, looks to be number 10, Cade Marlowe, center fielder. Ball 1. When you were at Georgia this weekend up in Athens, did you remember one of the pitchers, Albright? Was there an Albright boy that was pitching?
No, well, I can't remember. CJ is a left-hander.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Georgia's Friday night guy, really, really good. I think he throws in the high 90s. I can't remember where that kid's from, but I'll tell you what thing I did notice. You look at their roster. All their players, guess where they're from?
Georgia.
A lot of them are from the state of Georgia. So, you know, what we have an opportunity to grab here in the state of Georgia is phenomenal.
Yep. Well, one of the kids, the Albright kid, I went to high school with his mom, and that boy's aunt played basketball at the University of Georgia back when, you know, Georgia girls basketball team was just off the chain good. 31, I think I said Marlowe.
Good play.
Like I said, that Marlowe was at the bat. Actually, that was Joe Skinner from Carrollton.
Really good play by Wilkes right there. But, yeah, just amazed me that, you know, Georgia's a top 10 team. I think they were ranked 5th in the country this weekend. I'm sure they moved up. I hadn't paid attention. Which, you know, I was keeping up with our Hurricanes as I was watching this, and I would have traded Georgia losing and the Hurricanes winning for sure.
That's exactly. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because this is all that matters right here.
Have you heard how our softball team did tonight, or?
They didn't play tonight.
Oh, they didn't. I'm sorry.
No, they were
okay.
practicing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Okay.
At home? So they're on the road tomorrow at Middle Georgia. Lady Canes will be on the road.
Okay.
So they'll have a home game here Thursday. But we will welcome all y'all to come back to Hurricane Field tomorrow for us to play Auburn Montgomery.
I was noticing just a few minutes ago, Ryan, you know, that foul ball that hit our tent here. I believe we've got a
snag.
We got a little chink in the armor up there.
Don't worry, phase 3's on the way.
Okay,
We're
good.
trying to get phase 3 done, and we'll throw some bricks up.
Good.
We're waiting on Mr. Mamatis to write us a big check.
That's right. Check swing, strike 3. Sends them to the long walk to the dugout.
I'm sure he's sending plenty of money this away with.
Yep. Well, you know, I joke about that lottery earlier and all that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you what, if you get a kid in Georgia and they're going to school in Georgia, that lottery really helps out. I mean, it's made a difference
really
in my
does.
Kids, and I got a son graduating in May, and my daughter's getting ready to start her junior year, and they've been able to keep the grades up and keep those scholarships, and it's made a difference.
That one got lost in the lights. Our guys had no idea. The fans were scattering.
Fans running like they saw a snake.
And I think that's a lot of our basketball players. This ball's a little smaller than what they're used to.
That's right. And hurts a little more, too.
It does. But I tell you, we got a lot of good – I mean, the parents here, they support the program. I mean, I know it's tough. I mean, you send your kids off to college. All these guys don't have, they get partial scholarships. And college is – although Georgia Southwestern ranks up there as one of the most inexpensive colleges out there in the state of Georgia, it still gets – it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate all the parents who do contribute. A lot of them do. We appreciate all the support from our parents.
Strike 3.
Good inning by Sales.
Sales.
We'll be back on the Surge Sports Network for
Got a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Looks like a young man from Villa Rica, Georgia. Alex Holbrooks. Alex, 5'10", 190-pound junior, right-hander.
And Scott, a good-looking blonde, has entered the stadium.
There was a hush drew over the crowd.
It warmed up a bit.
Yes.
Of course, my wife, Mandy. Mick League always gets nervous when I start talking about good-looking blondes.
Like I said, Mickley's going to get to know if he brought me here to kind of keep you in check.
That's
pretty sad. That is pretty sad. I think one of our official scores up here got tuberculosis.
Cold trickle.
All them years as a coal miner prior to coming to Georgia Southwestern as a baseball
player. That black
player.
lung is something else.
It sure is. It's wearing him out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mr. Holbrooks skipped that one in there for ball number 2. Colby Hall.
So Hall came into the game hitting .273.
I think I incorrectly said Mr. Hall was from Valdosta. He went to Lowndes County High School, but his hometown is Lake Park, Georgia.
Lake Park.
I want to apologize to his kinfolk and to Mr. Hall.
You know,
I
Scott,
made an assumption there.
You know, I know the game is 15-2, but you know what? Keith Micklig is still up here working his tail off, looking at the cameras. I mean, he's a perfection. He wants to bring the game to you the right way.
That's it. He is got his foot on the gas all the time.
He never has it on cruise. It's always wide open. You know, Micklig has a couple of kids, and they're active in sports, and he juggles that a little bit. And, you know, Mike Leader's good enough to give Keith a time or two as a runner goes to second, and he's in there safely. But Micklig gets to go watch his kids play, probably when they're at home mainly, so I know that's tough on him being to do that. So he puts a lot of time in. I know he misses watching those kids play, but I know he loves those boys, and he does what he can. And I tell you what, so if you're ever on campus and you're in the athletic department, please stick your head in there and thank Keith and his staff for what they do.
5 o'clock means nothing to him.
Absolutely nothing. You don't know the half of it, buddy.
That's right.
I won't say some of the stuff. Keith puts in many, many hours.
Number 13, Jason Beta, has a 1-1 count.
Beta hit a hard shot, I believe, his last at bat. That
Mr. Holbrooks is having trouble finding the strike zone.
Thank goodness for that.
Amen. He is skipping the ball in there.
Scott, if we score 13 runs, I'll buy your supper tonight.
If we score 13 runs, I will take my shirt off. And I don't know what I'll do.
Well, I hope we score 14 because I don't want to see you with your shirt off.
I know it's true.
I'd rather buy you supper, though.
I'll figure out something
I tell you
that will
what,
incentivize these young men.
if we score 13 runs, I will give that blonde right there a kiss right in the smackaroo.
What has she done to deserve that, though? What is
13 runs.
And I'm about to say, why punish her? Okay, Blue, you need to stay on your game too. All the rest of us,
Yeah,
don't
lollygag.
No, don't be laxing up now and expanding your strike zone. Give us like Greg Maddox strike zone up there. 4 inches on either side of the plate.
Not to take anything away from Greg Maddox.
No, but let's call a spade a spade.
Attaboy, good eye.
There you go, how about that?
West Georgia does have somebody else down in the bullpen stirring, though.
It's all right.
Cole Clarke.
Cole Clarke, out the Nahunta, Georgia native, had an active night in center field.
He sure has. Done a good job. Done a fine job out there.
Yeah.
Got his running in, too.
He did. He did. I think that's your Siri. I don't have it. Mine doesn't.
I don't know what Siri's trying to tell me. She said she didn't know what that means, Scott.
That's why I have a Samsung.
And they're not our sponsor, by the way.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Apple just a little too big for their britches, in my opinion.
We don't want to get in trouble with them. They're probably listening.
Either that or we have
hey,
they got their spidey senses up.
Well, hey, Steve Jobs was – think about what all he did.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we were talking off the air. You know, I wasn't a huge Motley Crue fan, but, you know, if you got Netflix and let me little tidbit here. If you got small kids in the house, you don't want to watch The Dirt with the kids in the room.
Much like our broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. But I didn't realize how crazy those guys were, man. I'll tell you what.
Rock band in the 80s, that surprised you?
It shocked the stew out of me.
Come on. Y'all didn't get MTV and Oscilla back in the day?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I had 3 channels growing up, man.
Oh, come on now. So you grew up.
Oh, look at there.
Safe.
Good base running out there.
Yes, sir. I called that one from here.
That's a good call, Scott. But fine base running. Sees the ball down, takes third base.
At the plate for the Hurricanes.
And I can tell you this. He better be glad he made it. I think McDonald would have been a tad bit upset had he not made it to third base safely. But
number 29.
Good piece of running out there.
Jeremiah Barnett, sophomore outfielder from Glenville, Georgia, Tattnall County.
A lot of Hurricanes getting to see some playing time tonight. You know, Scott, let's see. The Major League season will be getting fired up here very quickly. I think, does it start this weekend? It does, doesn't it?
I think I've got tickets for April 5th.
Is that opening day?
It's Friday. No, that's a week from this Friday.
Okay.
Well, I made sure we didn't have a game that night before we bought the tickets.
Well, we want to make sure you tune in to us when the Major League season starts.
That's right.
A lot more entertainment here than in the Major Leagues.
Much more. You can predict what they're going to say. You and I are liable to say anything.
That's right. They're censored a little bit, whereas we're not.
YouTube pretty much gives us carte blanche. Georgia Southwestern, however, does not.
Yes, we had to sign a waiver. Actually, we gave Keith a waiver when we got this job.
Keith kind of slipped up on us. He was wondering what direction we were going with this conversation.
He's very sneaky. You got to watch Keith.
Oops. These wires right here getting crossed up.
Well, you know, Scott, I'm glad it's taken to the 8th inning for you to sober up, but, I mean, you've done a fine job.
Well, you know, like I said, I volunteer, you get what you pay for. Still playing tennis behind us.
In the dark.
Yep. Wow.
Tell you, if you can play in the dark, you ought to be a stud in the daytime.
Mm-hmm. Full count, 1 out. Runners at second and third. Delivery from the pitcher from Villa Rica, Georgia. Ground to second base. Out number 1, but scored the run.
12 more and you got a free dinner.
Well.
Free supper. I will warn Hallie about if we do score that many runs to put the camera on you.
Mark Felton, junior catcher from Valdosta, Georgia, came to Georgia Southwestern by way of Lowndes County and Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. He was swinging for the pond on that one, brother.
He's a big kid.
Yes, sir.
Number 38, Mark Felton.
He does not get cheated normally when he swings the bat.
No. Count 0-2. Hops it in there for ball number 1. We want to thank our listeners that we have hovered between 45 and 60 throughout the night. We want to thank the people that have stuck with us in the comfort and warmth of your home. Yeah, tolerated us. That's right. Yep. Strike 3, and that'll do us. Going to the top of the ninth, down 15-3.
We go on the air. We catch the Hurricanes at home.
Top of the ninth. West Georgia steps in there. Sale's still in there pitching.
And Scott Keith threw out a staggering number. How many subscribers do we have, Keith? 760 plus subscribers to our YouTube channel. We want to try to hit that 1,000 mark before the season's over with. We've had 60 in the last month, probably due to the fine announcing by you, Scott.
We can get that number there. It's just going to take some controversial talk between me and you.
Well, hey, I tell you what. We can probably get some controversy going.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you what not to do. Unless you didn't know this, Ryan. Don't go to Nike and demanding a bunch of money if you know some secret. That's apparently – I did not realize that was something that was frowned upon as heavily as it is.
Or pay to get your kid in school.
That's right. Or pay to get your kid in USC, which, you know, I mean, if I'm gonna drop $500,000 to get my kid in college, it better be Hogwarts.
It better be.
It ain't going to be USC.
Well, you know, I started to talk to Dr. Weaver about that. I mean, maybe, you know, what if we just did the top 20 anonymous folks wanting to give money to make sure the kid gets in school here, and then we just spread the wealth out amongst all these other students to help lower their tuition costs.
Have an auction.
There you go.
That's what I say. 5 new subscribers.
5 new subscribers. And if I'm today.
I'm telling you, if we took some controversial sides to some modern, you know, some things going on in popular culture, that thing would get over 1,000 pretty quickly.
We probably would. Yeah. But we will vow to them. We're not going to bring politics up. I see enough of that.
No. We ain't going to scream and holler at each other.
Yeah.
We ain't going to do any of that. They do enough of that on TV. It's going to be good quality, clean humor. We may find it funny. You may not.
But doesn't matter.
That's right. But
and nobody can heckle us, Scott.
No, they can't.
Nobody has our number.
We got the microphone. We don't.
I tell you what, we ought to give out Thurston McCracken's number.
Yes. If they got any complaints
they
about
can call him late at night.
Call him.
Wait till 1 or 2 because he sleeps. He works early, so he's up real late at night. So you could call him.
He does have mine your cell number, so
we got to be careful.
We do. He may reroute those phone calls
right off the hands.
For out number 1. Number 8, we got number 8, Joseph Hill, infielder from Ringgold, Georgia. 2 of my roommates from West Georgia were from Ringgold.
How long a drive? How long does it take us to get to West Georgia from here, Scott?
He said about 2.5 hours when I talked to that Lowndes County coach. I talked to him, and his son played, and he said, he came up from Valdosta to watch this game. But he said from here to Carrollton's maybe 2.5 hours.
Assuming the traffic's not that bad downtown in Americus.
Right, that's it, yeah. You got to take that into effect. And, Thomaston, every once in a while, you'll catch a light probably up there,
I did find out who our team barber is on the team. Who's cuts
that?
All the hair.
Who's
Hunter
that?
Foster.
Really?
He does not have a career in cutting hair, I can tell you that.
Does he have a license?
Let Mix take his hat off and you can see his work.
I thought Mix cut it himself.
How fancy is that? So I'm not sure if Foster's parents are listening, but if Hunter Foster's parents are listening, he has no shot.
So Mix
at cutting hair.
So is he just giving up on dating girls? Is that what I'm supposed to?
So a foul ball down the right field line.
So those of you that are letting
you think Mix is just giving up on the
dating scene? When those of you letting your teammate cut your hair, y'all just kind of giving. Oh, he's got a girlfriend. Oh, well, he's pushing to see how much you'll stick around and put up with that haircut.
And at least he said, "Look, we're on the air," and he said he's got a girlfriend.
Look at there.
So Mix is taking ladies as much as good looking as he is. Stay away.
Well, that haircut, I don't know.
Cole, do you have a girlfriend? Just in case she's listening, he said he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He did. Notice neither one of them named them.
Oh, she's on a cruise, so we're
they got the interweb on the cruise, man. She might be.
What's that name you got tattooed on your arm?
Man, I love a cruise. You can tie the feed sack on when you get on the boat and take it off when you get on.
Well, you talk about cruise. Mix's uncle over there, he used to play in what did he do? He was like in a little jazz band or something. He'd go around. Did you remember that? Joey Mix, I graduated with Joey. Joey had a pretty good gig, man. He'd take these cruise ships and go everywhere, play music.
Wow. Ball 4.
Don't worry, Cole. We run deep down in those parts in Irwin County.
Clayton's got 3 brothers and a sister. That's my cousin. My dad. He's got 2 brothers.
This umpire doesn't seem quite as motivated when they're at bat to call strikes and get us out of here.
He may have gone to school in West Georgia.
May have. Who do we have to bat? Number 7, Chase Uter. Outfielder, 180-pound junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Takes strike number 1.
Sale's getting a lot of work here.
He is.
Today, and I'm glad to see that. I mean, I tell you what. Sales has a lot of potential.
A lot of upside.
Sure does.
Count 1-1.
Did you fill out an NIT bracket, Scott?
I did not fill an NIT bracket out. No. I have the gift of hindsight. I usually, can tell you afterwards, what the.
Well, there's NIT's playing tonight.
Yeah, well, who they got playing, though?
Let's see. You got Marshall playing. You got TCU's playing.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the rest.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I can't remember, but I think at one time the NIT was the big tournament. Really and truly.
Really?
Mickley, I'm telling the truth, aren't I? See, Mickley got, what was it, in the 70s? Is that kind of tailed off in the 70s and 80s? When did it happen? The NIT was the tournament, man.
It was the tournament.
And I think, you know, of course, you know, NCAA, they decided to do their own, and but the NIT kept going with what it had, and but that was the national championship tournament. Look, y'all don't pay for this kind of advice, but you get it anyway.
Oh,
and,
look,
and
if I ever want to know something, I call Scott.
Yeah, well, yeah, Google, man. I was Google long before Google came along.
Sales
you know,
working
especially
hard
you couldn't
on this
check
here.
me. You couldn't check me.
That's right, no check finding.
I was like a Jedi then, man. I could say it, and as emphatic as I would say it, it would be. Yeah, I heard it from here too. It did. Hit his sleeve. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, I reckon on the sleeve is about the best place.
Well, he had a piece hanging there. I don't think that was legal.
Mm.
You know, I wish all our listeners could see Mix's hairdo. He kind of looks like the Boz. You know how Boz cut his hair on the side right there? Do you guys remember who Bosworth is? Well, I know you don't remember him, but I know you've seen videos of him, right?
Looked like a bear took a swipe at his head.
It does, and got him.
Got him. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see all that. I mean, before long, if the kids are getting their hair cut like this now, we aren't long from parachute pants.
It's coming back.
It's coming. Parachute pants,
and members
Z
only jackets.
Cavaricci's, members only jackets, man. Katie bar the door. How about the big hair from the ladies though? Is that coming back?
I hope not.
Oh man, I tell you, that's what destroyed our ozone.
You know, I saw a lot of that big hair on the dirt when I was watching that Motley Crue.
Yes, sir.
Movie.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of big hair.
That was the big hair days, man.
But that was the guys.
Well, yeah. And what was that group? What was that big hair group that looked like a bunch of the guys that looked like girls? Was it was it Poison? Was it Poison?
Poison, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. There was a show, and I'm not going to say the name of the show, and I'm not going to go too far off the tracks here, but there was a show that MTV had, a cartoon at one time, and one of the favorite episodes was when they were watching a video. It was like supposedly like two middle school boys. I think, yeah, exactly. And when they were watching the one, and it was the Poison video, and they thought they were girls. And about midway through the video, they realized they were guys.
Oh,
You know, that probably had to be one of the best episodes.
That was good.
Y'all go look that up on
Good
YouTube.
pitch
Remember that?
by Sales for strike
Brian,
three
he
and
remembers
out
it.
number 2.
Oh. Yeah.
Scott and I are
Reminiscing.
we're reminiscing, and there is a ball game going on here.
Well,
and Sales looked fantastic on that pitch.
I think it's a testament. We have not lost our viewers. They know that you and I are going to drop the ball at any minute now. And all of a sudden the screen's going to go, and you're going to have those colored bars on it, and they're going to be like, we are off the air because of something we've said. We will shut down YouTube.
Second baseman Brian Danzaru.
That strikeout pitch, Sales looked like a fastball on the inside part of the plate as he just throws strike one, a fastball on the outside part of the plate. I tell you, man.
Hit a mile in the air.
Beta.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who was hollering out there.
So Beta makes out number 3, and we're going to go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Canes are down 15-3. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Okay. Got a new pitcher, number 24, C.J. Farabach. Junior, 180 pounds, 6'2", from Douglasville, Georgia.
And if you're just joining us, you have missed Scott Westbrook's entertainment of the day.
Yeah, you have missed nothing then. Number 26, Devon Shay, sophomore from Sacramento, California.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
How
getting in
about
there.
that?
Look at that. They're out there discussing the scouting report on Mr. Shay.
My college roommate last name was Shay.
Really?
Keith Shay. Probably the coolest man in North America, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be. Lives up in Waterbury, Connecticut.
He could give us a shout-out every once in a while if he watches or listens to us. Devon Shay fouls it back. This is a rally inning right here. I got a feeling. I feel it. It's either that or frostbite. High. 1-1. Now look at there.
Boy.
Hard ground ball to left field leads us off with a single.
24, hard thrower on the mound, too. Looks like he's throwing the ball pretty hard.
Matthew Mamadas, number 7. Oh, correction, I'm sorry. Number 3, Tyler Summerall. I'm sorry. I am Soperton, Georgia.
Number 3, Tyler Summerall.
And Shay jumped all over that pitch.
He sure did. Called strike 1.
Yeah, he's throwing it up there. I'm guessing high 80s. We could get down there with Alex and ask Alex how hard he's throwing. Oh, good pitch. Looked like a little slider down and away.
0-2.
And Mix, did he cut the other side of your hair like he did this side? You just had him stop after that?
So the rumor about it being cut because of a lice outbreak was a lie? Is that what I'm – okay. All right, just make sure.
I think he cut Skelton's hair too, didn't he? I thought he skinned him up. Oh.
I bet he got some nice clippers from like Walmart or Rite Aid or something, didn't
he? Don't worry, Mr. Mamadas. I think your son's
safe for now.
Yeah, he's safe for now.
For now. I think his haircut is scheduled for tomorrow.
Early because we got a ball game.
Mm-hmm. Strike 3 for out number 1. Jamison Wilkes. Sophomore from Paulding County, Georgia.
I believe Wilkes had a hard base hit out to left last time.
Jamison Wilkes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Paulding, home of Dallas, Georgia. Been a long time since I've been there.
Are you happy with that?
I think the last time I was in Dallas, Georgia, I think I interviewed for a job there right out of college. So it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a
Delta. I'm shocked Delta didn't just let you fly the doggone plane after you worked for Delta.
Let me tell you,
I'm glad I wasn't traveling back then.
You have no idea. We had some good times there at the airport. That was back before security was so tight and all. We had to go through security and stuff, but they gave us employees a lot of leeway, and there was a good bit of horseplay. But
Did you ever smuggle anything?
No, never did that. Never did that. Let me tell you what I did. What I did do once upon a time. I was
at Delta, right?
At Delta. Yeah, I told you I was a jet janitor, and one of the things.
And listen, I'm sure the Delta folks are proud of whatever this story's about to be. But go ahead.
Well, it is. I mean, it just shows you how outside the box thinker I was back then. Balling away. So one of the things we had to do when we finished cleaning the plane was straighten the seat belts up so the plane looked nice when people walked on there. We had cleaned it all up, and it doesn't take long to just walk down the aisles and straighten the foul ball back towards the pool area. It doesn't take long to straighten the seat belts up and make it look nice. So I was team leader that night, and I had about 4 or 5 folks, and I got the short stick on the draft. So, the people that were there that night, they weren't really motivated to help and all. So I had a $5 bill in my pocket. And usually if you found a lot of cash, you had to turn it.
That's a lot of money back then.
Well, it was. And so, I think Cokes were a nickel back then or something. But anyway, and so I was picking up the seats, and I asked one of the people working with me, I said, did y'all straighten these seats? They go, oh, yeah, I did. And I said, and I took that $5 bill and laid it in the seat, and I said, well, look here, you missed this. And I put it in my pocket, and while not, 2 or 3 of them said, man, that fell out of my pocket. That fell out of my pocket.
Learned a lot about your coworkers.
That's exactly right. Learned a lot about human nature that night.
So do you critique the Delta employees now as you walk on their plane?
I don't even tell them I used to work there. I don't know because it's been so long and so many things have changed and all. It's
get through there.
Look at there. You called that one. It's our 2-out rally we've been looking for all night. Who hit that one? Mark Phil? Who hit that last ball? Who was that? Tyler Adams? Okay, good. We want to make sure we give a shout-out. Tyler Adams.
Number 32, Colby Hall.
Tyler Adams with that last single from Ocala, Florida. Colby Hall up to bat from Lake Park, Georgia, Lowndes County High School. Ooh, high inside. Ball 1. What you gonna watch on TV tonight, Ryan? You get to the house.
I don't know. I record Seinfeld, 2.5 Men. I may watch a little bit of the NIT.
Let me tell you one of the shows that I just watch over and over and over again. Forensic Files. You ever watch that show? I love that show, man. I tell you what. I mean, you would think my family would take notice that I watch that show, but no, they still have the sassy mouth about me. I'm like, look here, I know exactly from watching that show how to dispose of you. So you need to listen and step your game up and show me a little respect around here.
Well, you're on air, so I tell you what, you could be a. Yeah, this is.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to.
You incriminated yourself pretty bad there.
I would, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce Exhibit A. Bottom of the 9th inning game, down 4.
However, we can get exposure here at Georgia Southwestern, Scott.
That's right. I like Forensic Files. Yeah, and of course sports, but you still have the cable or DirecTV, or you do the Fire Stick and the Hulu and all that?
I got the cable, and, I watch a lot of Netflix too. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. It slipped up on us. It slipped
right up on us.
That's it. We are barely let this one just slip through our fingers at 15-3, and that'll do us. And everybody have a good night. Player of the game, Keith Micklig.
Well, listen, we hope all of you tune in tomorrow. Georgia Southwestern and Auburn Montgomery. Unfortunate loss for the Canes today. But we'll learn from it, get better. So come out here and watch us tomorrow. Beat Auburn Montgomery. For Scott Westbrook and Ryan Young, we're signing off the Surge Sports Network.